Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Now, we are joined by the Adam Meakin, Arwin, Chocolate Saying, Neil, 10th Man, Brian's Logic, Eli, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon.
Yo, yo.
Hey, good morning.
So Adam is live from Birmingham Town Centre here in the UK at the Globe Light Tour. Can we get a hello from Adam? Hopefully we can get something. Maybe not. Well, there he is. I'm going to ask Adam a couple of things, see if he can hear me. Can you hear us, Adam? No, he can't. We'll come back to Adam later. Obviously, he's not there. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon, formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
It will always be in consideration.
Why formerly known as curve of the Earth? Why is it not curve of the Earth now? just wondering.
Oh, I got a cute
We will
shout out.
never forget Earth curve. We used to believe it.
Never forget.
Never
Yeah,
forget.
we need a yearly wake for the Earth curve.
Can I just read out this really
Few
sweet
minutes of
super
silence.
chat? Sorry, Arwin. Jardo says, "Can you say hi to Trisha? Your husband loves you." Oh, isn't that adorable? Thank you for the super chat as well, but oh. Hey Trisha, your husband loves you. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Well, not that we expect.
We expect. No, we don't expect to see Coriolis deflection. That's correct.
That's right. They should be, but they're siding with us on that one.
The anti-flat earthers do indeed side with us. I mean, they've got their own made-up nonsense to replace it that they claim is globe claims, but they're not.
That would be because the globe claims Coriolis and they continuously claim no Coriolis. Even though they still believe in Coriolis, for some reason they keep telling us how there's no Coriolis. Not really sure how that works, but okay.
They never expected to be forced to uphold the rules of their own model. Come on.
And one will go on Adam. Can you hear us, Adam? He's obviously just talking somebody through the questions, but we can't hear him.
On Coriolis, while we're waiting for Adam, haven't they divided that into different groupings? Like if it's a projectile, like a bullet or something, it behaves a different way as the supposed Earth turns underneath, but it takes on a whole new behavior if it's an airplane or something else. Want to go into that?
Well, the Coriolis effect is Coriolis effect. It's only observable if you're turning beneath things. The consequences of the claim that we have Coriolis effect on a turning Earth is that it would shorten flight times.
Right, but they denied that by saying Earth and atmosphere and plane move at lockstep, should I say, velcroed, so to speak.
Well, that's where Arwin was saying that they agree with us in regards they don't agree with the globe Earth claim that there's Coriolis deflection. If you claim that Earth on your own, by yourself, alone, away from the Western world, not in line with the heliocentric claim of Coriolis effect, say that Earth and atmosphere spin together, then you're just as, you're as much a deviant away from the heliocentric claim as we are. We say Earth isn't turning, there's no Coriolis deflection. They say there's no deflection, and my different Earth that's turning doesn't have any deflection, like the globe that is in the heliocentric model claims, because the Earth and atmosphere that's in my singular on my own belief has the atmosphere moving along with it, in defiance of the globe claim that you've got Coriolis deflection to see, which would mean they'd very much be separate reference frames. But they don't believe that either.
Okay, but they are telling us the appearance of the stars moving is not because the stars are moving, but that Earth is turning, correct?
They say Earth's turning under the stars, but the anti-flat Earthers don't say that. The anti-flat Earthers say we're moving as one reference frame.
No, I know. I just want to go one step at a time. So their claim is the motion of the stars is because Earth is turning. That's their claim. That's the globe claim, correct?
That's the globe claim of Coriolis deflection. 15 degrees an hour of the Earth turning causes a deflection. That would be an apparent deviation of the stars. The stars aren't really moving. They just look like they're moving because you're on a turning roundabout known as Earth, according to them.
Okay. Now, then the argument takes on a new skin by saying Earth and atmosphere are moving together. Well, we experience, and I have, I'm sure you have, as you look up on certain days, clouds moving in all directions, west to east, south to north. We've seen that.
That's the remix. That's the remix. That's not the original cut. The remix is when the atmosphere and the Earth are moving lockstep, therefore giving you no Coriolis. That's the reasoning behind why they tell us that, right? Those are the remixes by the DJs that have to defend this crap.
Correct. But then they put to null and void their first argument that the stars are moving to our eyes because the Earth is moving. Then they kill that because if they do the remix, they've got air that's not attached to the ground moving in sequence with the ground if the Earth is turning. But when we look at it, we can see it go in all directions. I mean, there's parts on my property because of the wind in a normal, because we get Santa Anas as well as ocean to land air currents, but you can tell the majority of the wind is in one direction because all the trees within that pathway are leaning that direction. If you follow what I'm saying. So it's like, and then when you look up in the air, you see the clouds going in all directions. There's no way it's all tracking with the Earth turn west to east.
Yeah, I'm tracking with what you're saying, other than anything beyond a claim of Coriolis effect. That's Earth turning as a non-inertial reference frame with you upon it, watching things seem to drift because you're turning and they're not attached. That's Coriolis, that's the globe claim. Anything beyond that claim is heresy against the globe religion and claim that Earth turns beneath stuff at 15 degrees an hour. So it doesn't matter beyond the point that they deny the claim. That was Arwen's original point. I'm going to stand by it. Arwen's absolutely right. Like us, they don't believe it either. Earth and atmosphere move together, so no Coriolis effect. You don't believe it either, then?
Precisely.
Well, what I don't understand about the planes is what difference does it make if the atmosphere is moving? When the plane is traveling through the atmosphere, why does it matter that the atmosphere is moving with the Earth? The plane is going in the opposite direction.
It matters because they're defying the claim the globe makes that Earth will turn beneath it and we'll observe a 15 degrees an hour deviation in that plane because we're turning beneath it. So the claim the globe makes is that we will observe, that's us standing upon an Earth that's turning, will observe Coriolis deflection in things not attached. So what difference does it make if the atmosphere is moving? Well, it makes a substantial difference because the globe claims we'll have Coriolis deflection at 15 degrees an hour, which won't be happening if that's true. So they don't believe it either if you're answering this question, and that should be the first point we all go to. If you're answering this question, you're answering a globe heretic who doesn't believe in Coriolis drift either, about why Earth and atmosphere and how it moves together or doesn't will affect or not affect flight times. That's nothing to do with the globe's claim that we'll see drift as we turn beneath stuff because Earth's turning beneath stuff to cause Coriolis deflection of 15 degrees an hour. The moment they aren't agreeing with that, just point out that they don't believe it either then. Like we don't. That's it. Don't try and qualify why they say there'd be a slight deflection in the plane that the plane could easily account for. Like, sorry, so you're saying planes are accounting for or not accounting for Earth and atmosphere moving together or not moving together, depending on the circumstances. So you don't believe in Coriolis deflection either. That's all you've got to say. Heretics, all of them. None of them believe it. They all come up with excuses for why the globe's wrong. So none of them believe it. That's all that matters to me from this point forth. Who cares what their explanation is? All right, you on your own think I need to argue with you like you're a globe believer. I don't need to do that. I just ponder why you don't believe in the drift that we're supposed to observe in things not attached at 15 degrees an hour as we turn beneath them. That's what the globe claims. So you don't think we're turning beneath stuff to see it drift. This plane's going to correct for things in the atmosphere so we don't see Coriolis affecting it. Well, that's definitely not the globe's claim that's supposed to be proving it spins. Interesting that you don't believe it either.
Very telling.
Excellent point, Arwin. Can we move on? I'm asking Arwin, as it was his excellent point that
Yeah.
got us here.
That's
Any,
fine.
any evidence of the distance to the sun?
It's over there. Whatever it is. Wherever it is.
Nah, it's over here.
I can't argue with that.
I know you can't, because it is over here.
It can be any distance you want if you just back calculate the angular size. Something that they can't have on a globe. Make it up.
Which is a back calculation of the radius from a flat Earth elevation angle of Polaris.
Well, no, technically no, because you can't have this on a globe. So you or me, as flat earthers, can just back calculate any distance or size we want to the sun. They can't, because can't have angular size on a globe. But we can do that if we want. Now, it doesn't mean it'll be proven to be correct, but we can do that. You can come up with your figure, I can come up with my figure, and we can, both tell everyone about it. Doesn't mean any of it is right.
I don't think that's true. I don't think we can. So, for all the reasons you've previously given, although you're going to hopefully expand upon why I don't understand or disagree, Brian, if you're measuring the sun, right, I can only really make one true statement about it. I know where it's above at a given time, yeah? But in terms of where it is, I can measure it at various different perceived elevations from different locations. Well, that's a problem, because it's not at different heights, is it? If it's a thing at all that's physical, it can't physically be at different heights, for different people. That's impossible. Further to that, you can be at the same point, but you can be higher than the person who's measuring the sun below you, and both get the same angle. Again, if you ascribe the height to those two different measurements, they'd both give you the same height. But then if you incorporate the height above the ground level, you've got a different height. Well, that doesn't make sense either. So I would argue that while you might be just suggesting that people have the ability to verbalise a height after showing some seemingly plausible mathematics, yeah, people can do that, Brian. Like, people can walk out the side and look like a chicken if they want to. People can do that. Yes, they can. But it doesn't make any sensible conclusions in terms of where the sun actually is, or more specifically, what height it's at. I know we can't get that information, contrary to what you said about us being able to say that we have the information with a bit of maths.
No, what I said is we can back calculate and make it up. Because we can't. We don't know what the sun is or how it does what it does, where it actually is. It looks in a different place for you than for me. It's like all we can do is take an average angular size of it, and then both me and Chocolate can make up a complete load of nonsense and tell everyone about it. That's all you can do. There's no way to know. That's my point. You can't. That's the best you can do. You have an angular size that's of something. You don't know what that thing is. That's it. That's all you have. So what you're saying is it's impossible. Yeah, it is. Or at least improbable.
But you can also go through a process of deriving an R value from a flat plane elevation angle measurement to a celestial body turn the ground that you've measured the angle, 2 straight lines off a flat baseline, into a curved ground with a spherical R value, and then superimpose that spherical R value onto Venus, apply Kepler's third law to give you distances to all of these different lights in the sky. Now, once you've done that, you've then got distances to the lights in the sky. Would you agree? In the heliocentric model, at that stage, you've got ascribable distances. But then when you move back to actually employing the use of the stars on the ground, which you've curved by way of a model that you've imposed upon the flat ground, you then can't use the distances that you ascribed anymore. Then you have to say that the stars are an infinite distance. You have to ascribe a further caveat to the distances to the stars because you've curved the ground that you've got a flat Earth angle from to make the Earth curved in the first place. So you then have to make 2 different distance assertions for the stars. One, if I'm measuring an impossible angle from a flat plane that's supposed to be a curved surface that I'm not actually utilising, then the stars are infinite on a tangent plane that meets with a dingleberry dangling Earth that isn't actually the ground I'm navigating. Then they're infinite. But if I'm on the ground that I assume is the protractor I measure the star with, and it's curving, then I can give them a distance based on an R value that's been ascribed to Earth's twin, Venus, by Christian Huygens, and then just use the maths of Kepler, and give actual distances that I'll chuck away if I have to ever go back to the flat plane to measure any angles.
The thing about it is this: if you take a 45-degree angle to any star, let's say, or any celestial body right now, and I'm in an airplane 6 miles above you, and I'm directly above I'm at your zenith, directly at your zenith, and I take an angle to the same star at the exact same time, I get the exact same degree measurement. So that means that no matter what celestial body you pick, it's going to always be the same, regardless of your altitude or elevation. Once you're at the same zenith, once you're at the zenith of the, once you're basically on the same zenith line, it won't matter. So, I mean, all they did, it's nonsense. All they did is they back calculated a radius from flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris, and then they took an angular size of the sun, and they then worked off of those 2 things. That's all they did, and they gave claims of different distances to different celestial bodies. But when it comes to celestial navigation, there is no distances that you can claim. Everything is the same. So they have to then claim that these things are infinite. Yet they're all different distances within their model.
Yeah, the web of lies just grows ever deeper, especially when you get to the thing that's actually derived your model in the first place. And in this case, it's the flat Earth elevation angle measurements that pose the problem and introduce 2 different distances that they have to ascribe for an impossible angle measurement from a curved baseline, aka their tangent plane and dingleberry. Any scientific evidence of gravity? Oh, we're still on the same. Yeah,
just 1 second. If you take an angular size to the sun, you can then create a solar system out of that. So yeah, they had to start off with the radius value, but once they took an average angular size to the sun, that's all they needed to create a solar system. Everything just went from there.
Well, that was what Kepler did. Well, he gave everything its scale. You don't have actual distances, but you have all the scale, and like you say, you don't need much to get it. So yeah, you don't. It's only in fairly recent times that we've actually had ascribable distances. But you've got to make a leap of faith, right? You've got to say Venus is the same size as Earth, and then you can apply all the scaling values to an actual distance for each of them. But you've got to start somewhere, and that's where, Venus being called Earth's twin comes in. You've got to have somebody say, I know how big that is. That's the same size as Earth.
Yeah, but there's only 2 things that created the heliocentric model. That is the flat Earth elevation angles to Polaris, which gave them a radius, and the average angular size of the sun. Because once they had those 2 things, that's all they needed to back calculate everything else. That's my point.
Yeah, but not with distances, just with the scales. The scale values for all of it you can have in the heliocentric model with just those 2 things. You need your R value, obviously, but then where do superimposing the R value onto Venus only gives you ascribable distances then.
Yeah, but that's the whole
don't
point.
need
You have
them.
an angular size of the sun. Nobody can say. But my point is, they have an angular size to the sun, right? An average angular size for the sun, and they can then ascribe the sun to be any size they need it to be, via ascribing a size to Venus.
Or anything else.
Do
You
you know what I
just
mean?
need something to give
Oh,
you the
anything else.
scaling value. It doesn't have to be Venus, but yeah, you're right. You can give it any value you like. Absolutely anything. Just slide that scale up or down depending on what you use to scale it with. In this case, Venus, and Venus at the same size as Earth. That's how we've got 93 million mile sun. That's the reason.
You guys got a second?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had to come into a phone box because, frankly, there's a band playing next to us. It's a bit loud, so I'll. Yeah, it's wicked, man. Met up with loads of old friends already. The banner's out. I've just been. If you'd seen what I was doing there, I was just going through. If you go to Jason at the Disbury channel, you'll see me just basically doing it, giving him a quick rundown of the housekeeping questions and him with a little. Testing with a few of the responses he's had, sort of thing. So worth a little look at that. But do you want me to do anything, or just have a wander around?
But as we've got you now and you're on camera, first of all, hold your camera sideways so it's like a portrait.
Yeah.
Not portrait, rather.
Yeah. Let me spin this round.
There
That
we go.
better.
Much better. And then just give us a little tour of where you are and maybe tell us what you're doing.
Right, the band's back out again, so you'll be able to hear. So we're decent spot, Nathan. Opposite JD. There's a few folks around, so I'll just say this. This here is Tony Whitcomb from your chat.
Hey,
So
Tony.
to the debates, guys. That's Barry. See, and that's Tony. Yeah, I'm just sending that's Tony for you. There's Sven, look. Got there. Jason, obviously one of the organisers. Oh, yeah, Odelia. Yeah. Who's that? I know who he is. He's not here, though, is he? No. Yeah. A shout out to Chocolate from Barry there. So anyway, I'll show you the. Like I said, there's a variety of stuff. I don't want to pry. So a few bits and bobs. Here's the old school banner, the one that goes down Speaker's Corner. You'll have to shout if you want me to hear you, by the way, because I can't hear a bloody thing.
We hear you good, though. We're good. We hear you well.
Oh, look, what's down here? Henry Cavendish. Balls in a shed. I've not seen balls in a shed for a while.
So, for the
Right,
audience's
and
benefit,
let's get to the main event then.
For the audience's benefit, Adam, you're currently right in the centre of Birmingham, which is the second biggest city here in this country, and he's basically got people passing him by and telling them about, not necessarily just about flat Earth debate, but various other subjects that are going to be discussed like they would be on Speaker's Corner, but in the Globe Live tour. So over the last week, Jason and pals have all been out at various different spots around the country, and that will continue. Now they're there with the flat Earth debate banner, which is awesome. And yeah, but Adam will be, maybe he'll stay there a little bit in Birmingham. We'll see. I know he's going to maybe stay for a little while now. He's got that banner out there and disappear, but maybe he'll be talking to people and telling them a bit about flat Earth. I don't know. Are you going to stay a little bit, Adam?
No, because today's been a bit of a rush. Today was literally just to get the banner down, do this. So I'm going to be heading back. So I'll sit with you guys on the drive back, if that's all right. But so without it, you see, it's Tuesday before I'll be spending the day down in Nottingham. So it's I just couldn't have the banner not getting there because Royal Mail let us down. It's down at Jason's house down south. So needed it on the tour. So.
Is Jason in the middle of talking to somebody, or can he come in front of the camera and talk to us and tell us what he's been doing? And
he can do it. He'll have to kind of get his ear to the phone like this with me, but
I'll see if he'll swap with, and I'll. No, he's a bit busy. He's evangelising. He's evangelising, and don't interrupt. When he's done, I'll come back if you wish, and I'll try and grab him.
Can you see if we can have a little bit of... Can we listen to him? We'll ask the person and him if they mind. If you...
Okay, yeah, I'll sneak behind that and try.
No, just ask if they mind. Just ask if they mind.
If you can hear.
It's kind of like a kindred spirit relationship with someone else. I might not agree with them, whatever they're saying, but a lot of people...
Yeah, I'll tell you what I've got here. It's Trinity 4.
It's freaking me.
How you doing, mate? We're live on Flat Earth Debate. So I just said, give your channel a shout out, Dave. It's Trinity.
The new Trinity 4, you know? No space, Trinity and the number 4. I also got a website called lovetruthsovereignty.com where I'm trying to do more, because I lost my last channel due to COVID. I was giving too much medical information out, apparently, according to the World Health. Anyway, nice to see you guys, and I have to say, I have watched your show a couple of hours in the last month, and I've been enjoying your work, so I'm learning a few things from you guys.
Well, I'll do this, and then I've got to catch up, bro. Got to catch up. Yeah. Me and Dave spent too long cramped in that camper van. Good friends, mate. So, looking forward to spending a fuller day with him on Tuesday, actually. I'll just see if I can nobble Jason. Jason, would you like to see if you can speak to Nathan? I'll give you that. Well, swapsies. Swapsies. You have to get your ear to him, but hopefully you can hear him.
Right.
Hello, can you hear us, Jason? Can we see your smiling face? Can you put the camera on you?
Let me see if I can turn that around.
Or just physically turn it around.
Hang on. Let me find out. It's got too many buttons on here, Nathan. One sec.
Give it back to Adam. I was hoping he would just stand there with you.
His phone's a bit too fancy for me. How do we turn it round so it looks at me?
Adam.
At you right there.
Oh, this is a nightmare. Adam, can you hear me? Adam, can you hear me? Adam, don't do anything.
Go back to that.
Oh, God.
And then
What a nightmare. Adam, can you hear me?
Yeah. Ah!
Adam.
It was there for a second.
Adam.
There we go.
Stop fiddling around with stuff. Just
right,
listen.
let me go somewhere quiet.
Oh, okay. Now you can see it near us. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear all that bloody racket there. So.
Right, I want you to just basically plug what you're doing. Tell us where you are right now, first of all, if you don't mind. Or introduce...
Right, so
stop.
We are just outside the bull. With the famous bull statue just round the corner there. Let me show you. Just round there. We are outside there, JD Sports, but I can't give you the name. The name is New Street. We're on New Street, right at the end, near the bull. And I can just about hear you, Nathan.
Can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
Hi, guys. Yes, so my name is Jason Disbury, Disbury, formerly known as Jason of the Disbury Family YouTube channel. I've been doing... I wanted to get out and just talk to people and see what they kind of think of Flat Earth. I don't have a educated background. I would like to think that I'm fairly intelligent to a degree, not up to your standards, guys. But
of course you are.
I can think for myself.
Don't be self-deprecating. Just tell us where you've been so far. So you've been doing this all week so far. So tell us what you've been doing so far.
Yeah. So we started off at Speaker's Corner, coming round to. It was not an enjoyable experience. Too many people want to fight and bark all about religion, and so I never enjoy going to Speaker's Corner. But we wanted to start there and show them something different again. We went down to Plymouth from there. When we went down to Plymouth, we had a few altercations. Someone tried to trash the boards. But it was an enjoyable experience, really good, quite positive, some great interactions. And then I'm trying to get as close, so I know you can see a little bit too, you can barely hear. We went off to Bath after then, and it was fantastic. Bath was amazing, some incredibly enlightened people there, very open, very responsive. It was fantastic. Bath is really good. I think from Bath, was it Gloucester then? Gloucester was
Gloucester
in,
yesterday.
after
Yeah.
Bath. Yeah, Gloucester. It was a little bit on the quiet side, but we still have one or two great conversations. We've changed our banners slightly just so that we can have a conversation about lots of different subjects, what's happening in the world around us today, right now, and kind of lead them into. We feel as though that when we've come out with Flat Earth, like we've missed an opportunity on so many people that will just laugh, snigger, and run away. Whereas we felt as though that a lot of these are the same people that are awake to, what's happening with COVID and the big C, whatever. Sorry, and we felt so that there was an opportunity to try and bridge that gap of people that realise what is happening in the world today, and there's a gap of what was happening in the lies that we've been told from our history, our education, and science. So if we could just bridge that gap between them. So hence that's why we've got the two lots of banners there at the moment now, and we're finding it being quite positive. Like a lot of people just can't bear to look at the flat Earth and that, and we've started on the top board. I don't know if you can see that over in the background. We've started at the board at the top, and we've slowly coaxed them and gently moved them to the flat Earth side of things. And our aim is literally just to be like a conduit to Flat Earth, just to let them know that it is going on, and that there is a debate for us, and there isn't a real debate for you guys. You kind of know what's happening, but a lot of people still need baby walking, and I guess that's what we're here for, to just baby walk them into your shop, Nathan. That's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely perfect. Big shout out to you. I've just spammed the link to Jason of the Disbury channel, so that's gone out in the chat for the live stream audience. Thank you very much for telling us all about what you're doing. This is, I don't know if you've got a full introduction, but this is the Globe Lite tour, right?
Yes, it is, and we're in Birmingham today. It's Cambridge tomorrow. That's one to look out for. Cambridge, we get a lot. Well, last time we had a lot of boffins come out with their clipboards and that. So, really, Nathan, you need to get down there. Okay, that's all I can say.
What I will do, Jason. If you can just once you've taken your ear away, so I'll just tell you what I want you to do.
Yes.
On camera, so you're holding it, looking at your nice, pretty face.
Yep.
Tell us where you're going to be for the rest of the Globe Lite tour. And then I'll thank you very much for taking your time to talk to us today. But if you can do that on camera, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, sure. So we're here today. Going to be here till about this is in Birmingham, Bull Ring, Birmingham. We're here till about 5-6 o'clock, and then we're heading to, I believe it's Cambridge tomorrow. And then we're going to take a day off, but we'll still be around the Cambridge area, but we're going to take a day off. I think that'll be Sunday then. And then we'll move off to, it's going to be Norwich. After that, Norwich is an amazing place, so I'm looking forward to Norwich. And then we go off to, this is all off the top of my head, so hopefully I get that right, this right. From Norwich, I believe it's, is it Hull? We'll be going off to Hull, and then we'll be going to Nottingham. I think it's then Leeds, and then off to Preston. And have I missed one? I feel like I've missed one, but yeah, Nottingham, Leeds, and Preston. Nottingham is Adam's hometown, as you know. So we'll be hopefully we should be seeing Adam there again in Nottingham.
Perfect. Well, keep up the great work. Thank you very much for talking to us. I really appreciate it. Hopefully the banner gets some attention. People will talk about Flat Earth debate.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Nathan. I'll hand you back to Adam. Cheers, then.
Thank you, Jason.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, everybody.
Shout out, Jason.
So just before Adam comes back to us, I'll just give a quick plug. So I've just put Jason's channel. So if you want to hear Jason chatting away with people about Flat Earth on the streets of Birmingham today, right now, he's live also. So go and subscribe to his channel. Check him out. As I say, I've just spammed the link. I'll put a few more in there right now so you can actually spam. So you can go and subscribe to him right away. Adam, thank you for doing that. I was hoping you'd just be my cameraman, but you ran away.
Sorry about that. I can continue to do so if you wish, but hopefully you've got a good feel for it now.
The only other thing, unless this is going to be a timing thing, it probably won't work out. But if there's someone else having a discussion and you can collar them and say, "Would you mind if we earwig? You'll be on, on my camera phone." And if you say camera phone, it's a lot less. It's a bit more cuddly. And if they say yes, hopefully we can hear a conversation. If not immediately, if maybe you can hang around till that happens. If not, if you've got to run, then that's fine. Either way, whatever.
We are on a clock here, unfortunately, just for today. But that is what I will plan for Tuesday anyway. You know, for Nottingham when I'll be there a while.
No, that's perfect. Like I say,
I'll get a mic set up and stuff, so we can have a bit of interaction, hopefully.
But man on the street camera footage, this has been superb, Adam. I mean, your beard cam has been brilliant. Face cheek cam from Jason's been awesome. It's been brilliant.
I'll keep it that way round instead of having to look at my face. So I'll keep it running while I just have a few chats, say goodbyes, and then I'll see you guys in the after show.
Perfect. Thank you so much for doing this, Adam. I know it's a lot of effort, sort of lurking around with a camera phone and you feel like a bit of a twonk. So thank you. Adam Meakin, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, subscribe to Jason of the Disbury family. Like I say, he is streaming right now, and I have put links to his channel in the live stream chat. We're going to continue with housekeeping. So I know that's a bit abrupt, that interjection, but I knew it would be when it came, and I'm glad he's done it anyway, because it's always nice to see a bit of on-the-street footage with people doing a bit of flat earth activism. Not something I like doing, I've got to be honest. I actually dislike doing it. But I've got a lot of admiration for the people who go out there and press the flesh in the way that Jason is doing, and currently Adam is obviously doing as well. So absolutely epic. And yeah, hopefully we'll see some more of Adam when he's out in the streets of Nottingham doing the same thing, but on a bit more of a, you know, don't want to say permanent basis, but for a longer term than he is there today, because he's just dropping something off and then he's got to shoot pretty soon. So we may or may not hear one of the conversations that go on if somebody strolls up to the podium, so to speak, and starts debating with either Jason or Adam. We shall see how it goes, but we may come back to them later. In the meantime, any scientific evidence of gravity? That was too abrupt a segue, clearly, for my panel and Discord to get back into the gears of motion of housekeeping. After that, I'll try again. They've all had a few seconds. Go on.
What would be a good, just as what would have been a good idea would be live streaming through speakers this show to the street. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, they're doing it though. Them being there is infinitely more effective than somebody listening to this, and I'm sure that that's happened. You know, I have people give me accounts of them playing it in their car and such like, and then people will hear it. You know, they've got somebody in the car with them, or they're at a stoplight and it's just blasting out the window, and somebody pricks their ears up and starts paying attention. So there are, you know, that does happen in the same way as people play various radio stations in market stalls and people just walk around and hear it. You know, similar sort of thing. The channel's not popular enough for that to be widespread enough to reach the whole of Birmingham. But even still, I just think Jason and Adam, at least temporarily for the moment, are definitely capable of doing a far better job than people just seeing us and then trying to have the technical wrangle-dangle that we just had with Adam, who's a friendly and on our side. You know, just, I don't know. Nah, sorry.
Well, I'm not saying to replace anybody or anything. I'm just saying if they had that there as well, people walking past would hear your last question, the housekeeping question you just asked. And then people go, hang on a second, and they listen in, they'd hear no, then they'd hear the reason for no. And then people go, hang on a minute. You know, that's my point. Maybe not.
No, I agree. In an ideal world, yes. Shout out to Santos Fibonacci. Okay. He says, Nathan and FED panel, a big thank you for your commitment to this worthy cause of fighting the globe deception, one show at a time. Godspeed to you all. Well, thank you very much indeed, Santos Fibonacci. Great name. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Yeah, hypothesis all day, but not anything viable. No.
Not hypothesis as in a, you know, Professor Clue kind of way. as in
Lulu?
scientific
Ah.
prediction kind of way.
That's all they got. They just got like the story hypothesis colloquial. They don't have anything that they can independently manipulate, like a variable. That would be cool, but they don't have that. So without
But
that,
they will never have
can't
that.
formulate a hypothesis. I don't know if you could say never.
No,
Maybe
no,
maybe you can
again.
get to one of these things in the sky. Who knows?
So,
But
what is the
as of right
phenomenon
now,
within their model, right? Because all of their interpretations are all based on very specific presuppositions, and none of them are ever possible. So, as long as the hypothesis is going to be based upon that medium that is the shared story, they could never be viable ever. The individuals separately from that medium of storytelling could make a viable hypothesis, but not within the medium.
Yeah, because the medium isn't real.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you've got a heliocentric spinning ball in a sky vacuum and your independent variable would have to be the turn of the Earth, you can't vary the turn of the Earth even in their medium that doesn't exist, and the medium doesn't exist. So it's so devoid of ever getting close to having an independent variable for any of the crap that they ever claim. And we all know they've got plenty of phenomena to assert, but it's just their phenomena comes with a just so story that incorporates a natural cause that they assert makes the effect happen. For instance, the apparent deviation of the stars. It's not that the stars are just moving, folks. No, they're just apparently drifting because Earth's turning beneath them in our just so story. It's like, well, there's your cause and effect relationship. How are you going to validate that? Stop the spin of the Earth that you assume is occurring in a sky vacuum in violation of natural law. Speaking of which, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container?
Maybe, but we can never test it.
Nature abhors
Right,
a
here's your
vacuum.
chance for a bit of flat Earth discussion. So I'm going to come in. Just let me know if you can hear.
Yes, we can.
Space.
Sounds great.
So that cannot
Hey,
be
Jed.
this friend of mine. And that cannot be substantiated by anything that we've seen. One of the other things that they've never shown us or but seen is that they use harnesses to make guys look like they're floating. When Tim Peake did his spin in the air for Channel 4 in his interview, you could see the fullness of the harness, circus harness, in his trousers. And then when he was going over through the 360-degree spin, the veins started to come out in his neck, slips a little bit and falls under sort of gravity for a nanosecond there. It's like, no. They're doing that in the States. They aren't really in outer space. We've never taken a man in a spacesuit into a vacuum chamber. You know, if you were diving or going to space, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to test it in the vacuum chamber and I'm going to see how it works in the vacuum, because in water, you're under a lot of bars of pressure at 30, 40 meters deep. But in space, it's pulling everything the other way. So you've got to make sure your suit works, right? And you're going to survive that. They've never put a man in a vacuum chamber to test the spacesuit. And the spacesuits from the 1960s program look like gumboots. They look like a motorbike helmet, slightly modified. You know, they could get away with it then with these sort of very thin suits. Now they have these much more puffy suits and they need all this extra stuff to make them work. We've never seen a man put his spacesuit on, go through the airlock and into space in one unbroken bit of footage. So now when it comes to what the ISS is, people who think they see it going across the sky, it's smaller than it's about the size of a 747, maybe a little bit bigger, right? You can barely see a 747 at 10 miles. Imagine 20 miles, 30 miles, 250 miles. There's no way you're seeing that. And for it to reflect all of this light, there's something going on up there, but it doesn't mean that they're actually got men flying up at 17,000 miles an hour, 250 miles per hour.
What's to say about the James Webb, the new telescope they have?
James Webb Telescope?
Yeah, because they say this is 1,000 times powerful than Hubble.
That's incredible, isn't it? Because we were told with the Hubble that it was going to give us the most incredible, because it's out in space and so on. But we find out there's a 747 modified called Sophia, and that has in it a very, very powerful telescope, and they can take it to a very high altitude, get rid of all that, most of the atmosphere, open the side of it, there's a cupola, it opens up, and they can take, we think that this is what the original Hubble was. And now, one of the things for us is that we're tricked, or we're told to believe that what we see is many light years away. So what our cameras or our radioscopes are doing is they're picking up signals from billions of miles away. So when their Hubble or anything else can zoom in right on that, we think they're looking into the deepest of space. Whereas we think that our most powerful telescopes, if you were to take them on the ground or whatever, you would be able to resolve something at 50 miles, maybe 100 miles, something like that. And people often say, oh, it's the atmosphere, which I would give you, you know, the atmosphere is more dense here. But we do not have the zoom technology to look at something billions of miles away. That's as far as we can tell. Like, I'll give you a good example of that. The P900 camera that we often use to it's got a super zoom, 80 times zoom or whatever. Well, you can zoom in and fill the whole of the viewfinder with the moon easily. You can actually take a crater and fill the crater with that. But if I took that on the ground and pointed at something 20 miles away, I would struggle to fill the viewfinder with the building or whatever it was at 20 miles. So we don't think that we're looking at things that are so far away. The light show, as I say to people, might be within 1,000 miles. It might be less than that, you know, but I'm speculating, of course. So I think that light doesn't travel infinitely. We see lights depending on where we are relative to the equator. You know, the further south we go, the less of the northern lights we see. And it's as simple as that. Lights don't travel infinitely far, as we're told. These are small, local, we believe, points of energy, maybe sonoluminescence in play, like a vibration that's causing like Mars to flicker in this repeating pattern that we see. That's what we think these might be, and we think they're close in look. And I also go as far as to say to people that I think they might be personal to you, that each of us has 7 key energy chakra points, and those 7 energy chakra points equate to the main 7 luminaries in the sky: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter. These are actually your guides, and they're energies that kind of come across and join up and at certain times. For example, the Sun. Sun.
Before going into too much more detail there, I wouldn't yell like that. I'm going to head back, guys, because
Awesome.
I've got to go later. I'll meet back up and join
Good
you
little
in a bit.
taster, a bit of street activism. Obviously,
There you go.
very different flavour to what we normally have here, but awesome to see nonetheless. So thank you so much for doing that, Adam. Brilliant stuff. And I don't know if you're going to nip off now and leave us to it, presumably so. Thank you very much, though. I don't think.
Yeah, nice one, Adam.
Brilliant stuff.
Pleasure, guys. Pleasure.
Cool. So we're going to pick.
I understand there's a lot of good sentiment. I understand there's goodwill. But there's claims that have been made there that are wrong, and other claims that can't be supported.
Yeah, well, it's not our style. I know,
up with the
Brian.
plan.
Yeah, we wouldn't go into the launching into making the claims because there's no need to. People want to attach their claims to stuff that we can debunk and they can debunk. And he did a very admirable job in talking about the ISS and the various different aspects of fakery. I thought that was excellent. But, you know, some people will attach their own claims to it and attach the word we to it. And maybe you find that objectionable. Fine. You know, I'm not in the business of stopping people from having their own beliefs and expressing them to others, especially on a public forum, especially on the street, quite literally. Good for him. Now, if he was here and presented that, no, we wouldn't necessarily... We'd ask him to qualify his claims a bit more. But in terms of what he talked about with Tim Peake, you're like, yeah, the harness slip. We've all seen it, right? We've all seen Tim Peake slip in the harness. His veins pop in. Yep. I saw one the other day from the Chinese where they had a cup of water. Did anybody see that?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Got a cup of water on the side. They're supposed to be in space and they got a cup of water. Just sat there.
I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's brilliant.
You got that? Post that.
It's one of those that I can't remember who to credit the person that I saw in their video edit of this was brilliant because they didn't highlight it enough, which was just right. Because I was like, well, it all looks normal, like the normal fake nonsense we get from space. What am I supposed to be looking at here? And then it dawned on me. There's a cup of water sat there. Nice level surface to it. It's not flown around. Brilliant.
Nathan, the channel that I saw it shared from was...
hold on. Go ahead, then.
What's the gal 000 that we talk about?
Rachie with 5 zeros.
Rachie. She shared it on her channel, Chocolate. Go there. She shared it.
Okay, so hopefully get Rachie's
All right,
version.
cool.
Excellent. I like Rachie, so good. Hopefully you can subscribe to Rachie 00000 when the link goes into this, what we're now referring to. I think it was the Chinese that did this. But there's other versions. I'm sure there was the one with a guy with a Russian cosmonaut, and he's floating around, and he's got some bolts that he's repairing something with, and he drops them. They go clunk. And it's the same with Tim Peake and his harness. He goes over, the harness isn't tight enough, he slips in the harness. So it goes clunk as it all adjusts, it goes over. And you're like, yeah, they're on high wire. They're not in a sky vacuum. Now, that would be my only critique, and I'd hate doing this. The guy's out there, he's pressing the flesh, he's doing the do, he's getting the sunburn. I don't want to be too critical. But my approach, so it's not critical, is just, I would have said, the sky's not a vacuum. We're breathing gas pressure right now. If it was, and that's where they claim the ISS is, we'd all be dead. None of us would be breathing. Gas fills vacuums. Rapidly, we'd all be dead a long time ago. We'd have never reformed gas pressure. That would have been where I left it. But there we go. That's, it's horses for courses, isn't it? Different strokes for different folks.
Nathan, can I share something on, hang on, did I post it yet? It has to do with cosmology from an older book. I just posted it in Master B.
Synthetic cosmology. Okay, yeah, sure.
So this was written in 1899, and conclusive evidence, but I love the beginning. So let's start with the next slide where the red line starts, because that's where it really starts. Briefly, modern astronomical teaching affirms that the world we live on is a globe, which rotates, revolves, and spins away in space at brain-reeling rates of speed, that the sun is 1.5 million times the size of Earth globe and nearly 100 million miles distant from it, that the moon is about 1/4 the size of Earth and it receives all its light from the sun and thus only a reflector and not a giver of light, that it attracts the body of the Earth and thus causes the tides, that the stars are worlds and suns, some of them equal in importance to our own sun himself and others vastly his superior, that these worlds inhabited by sentient beings are without numbers and occupy space boundless in extent and illimitable in duration, the whole of these interlaced bodies being subject to and supported by universal gravitation, the foundation and father of the whole fabric. Excuse me. I got to clear my throat, sorry. To fanciful minds and theoretical speculators, the so-called science of modern astronomy furnishes a field unsurpassed in any science for the unrestrained license of the imagination and the building up of complicated conjuration of absurdities, such as to overawe the simpleton and make him gape with wonder, to deceive even those who truly believe their assumptions to be facts, and to make men doubt divine revelation with little discrimination, as they were formerly called upon to believe. If the reader will carefully follow and weigh the evidence in the following chapters, he cannot fail to be delivered from the trailedom of popular credulity and led to seek the truth himself. Next slide. Current science declares that the Earth was once shot off from the sun, a piece of molten rock, which by universal attraction became larger by indraughts from without, as the late R.A. Proctor assures us. The molten mass took 350 million years to cool down for protoplasm to get a footing, which took millions of years by evolution and selection to produce Darwinian ape. Evolution and selection allied and combined with the survival of the fittest, again took many millions of years to evolve primal man, many ages again elapsing before historical man was produced. These are 4 bodies, according to the late R.A. Proctor, which represent 4 stages of what may term astronomical progression as follows. The moon was once inhabited, but is now a chaotic mass. The Earth is inhabited. It was once like the planet Jupiter. Earlier still, it was like the sun and will become like the moon now is. Jupiter was once like the sun, is being prepared for inhabitants. When the inhabitants, it will be like the Earth. When its race as an inhabited world has been run, it will become like the moon. The sun will become like Jupiter, and another sun will take its place. Later, it will become like the Earth and will then be inhabited. Later still, it will become chaotic like the moon, and so on for countless ages, in fact, forever. Rounding it off. What a grand conception. Yea, rather, what a grand perversion of the reasoning powers, and what stultification of common sense. What an abuse of precious gifts in order to satisfy a fertile imagination and supply idle curiosity with something new in the domain of science. No one who reads the Bible but can see how these unfounded speculations are diametrically opposed to its plain teaching. The science of the 19th century and the science of the Bible are totally at variance. If one be true, the other is necessarily false. Which is it? Let the evidence here placed before the reader answer the question. Let honest-minded men and women who read these pages learn the truth for themselves by practical investigation into the facts herein set forth, which we challenge the whole scientific world to successfully dispute. We court no favor and fear no foe, scientific or otherwise. All we ask is careful attention and practical investigation. We have no fear as to the logical conclusion which shall be arrived at. And then the last page is the table of contents, as you can see, the subject. So I thought that was pretty profound for 1899.
Perfect. I think that's probably going to be an excellent way for me to round out this show. So I will say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a member, and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on a premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video. Shout out to Sensual Go-To, super chatted just as the live show is ending. Says, did Brian get the new camera I sent him? ? Open brackets. It's the weekend, fellas. Time to lock up your women. Close brackets. Thank you very, very much for the super chat indeed. Really appreciate the support, Sensual Go. I'm sure we'll find out in the after show.